because you are not systemically oppressed for being skinny.
Assuming someone can lose weight by walking is ableist.
Unlearning fatphobia is a part of eating disorder recovery.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reacting to some more fat acceptance TikToks. Okay, let's get into this video.
Girl in a straw hat with her arms out in a cornfield. That is a scarecrow.
I think people should be allowed their own personal dating preferences without being labeled as fatphobic. I personally don't think that just because someone doesn't like you because of your size, it makes them fatphobic. A lot of people in the fat liberation movement are hell-bent over the fact that maybe some people just don't prefer to date, bigger individuals. They're like, a preference is preferring someone who likes kayaking or someone who likes to bake cake. I mean, those are preferences. However, I don't really want to date a big person is a preference too. I don't see how or why that's a problem. And not everyone's gonna want you. That shouldn't be an issue.
People don't like being called big.
I'll start by saying that this is not about fear of hearing my weight. I identify myself as a fat woman.
But for some people who have body image issues or eating disorders, hearing their weight aloud can be very triggering, and this is not exclusive to fat people.
You eat like shit and you don't work out.
Completely untrue for all the fat people who are active and do eat well. And it does imply that all fat people are fat because of behaviors.
It's harder for them to lose weight? No.
Here is a list of reasons as to why it would be hard for somebody to lose weight.
And for the rest of us, maybe we are happy and healthy in our fat bodies and don't need to or want to lose any weight.
I'm not saying that being fat doesn't come with health risks, nor am I saying that I decline being weighed at the doctor every single time. But what you need to understand is fat people go to the doctor with genuine concerns about their health, and their treatment type is selected as weight loss before they receive any evidence-based medicine.
The point of my video is fat people are one of the most frequent victims of medical negligence and malpractice, but trust me, no amount of just working out is going to change the systemic oppression that fat people face on a daily basis.
Fat people are not oppressed. And all the things she mentioned that would pose as a hindrance for fat people to lose weight, at the same time doesn't make it impossible for them to do so. Not saying that you have to lose weight, don't do it if you don't want to, but don't make excuses that are clearly invalid. I can agree that some fat people do occasionally get it harder when going to the doctor's office, and that's not fair. That shouldn't be a thing. That being said, it does not mean that as a fat person you're oppressed in any way, shape, or form. I think that they're distancing themselves from fatness by saying that. And while it's true that not everyone has roles due to their size, a large amount of people do. And that's where people make their inferences and assumptions from.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah, sure. What's up? What's the body positivity movement? Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The body positive movement started in about the 1960s. Its original goal was to tackle social norms, government policies, and to just get equality for fat bodies in all spaces. But then that expanded to include different bodies, like trans bodies and disabled bodies. So overall, the movement itself was to help fight the systemic oppression against marginalized bodies, or bodies that just hold no privilege whatsoever. But around the 2000s, that kind of changed. The body positive movement became more so of loving yourself. It became an internet buzzword. Brands started to use it to push products and show that they were inclusive. IG models started to use the hashtag in their pictures to show that they love their bodies. So instead of it being connected to its roots of fighting oppression and making sure that marginalized bodies have equal opportunities in all spaces, it became a light and fluffy thing.
While I do agree the body positivity movement started with the whole idea of protecting marginalized bodies, fat bodies were not part of the movement when it started out. Correct me if I'm wrong. In my opinion, they later joined the movement and took it over and made it more about fat acceptance and fat liberation rather than actual body positivity. I see certain fat liberation activists on TikTok talking about the body positivity movement is for them and them alone.
You are someone who wants to use inclusive language and you love to talk about inclusivity, then you have to stop using the word obese and obesity. Thank you so much.
One thing I don't like about this movement is they're very divided on certain topics. The only thing I could wholeheartedly say they could all agree on is the fatphobia is systemic oppression, fat people are oppressed. They're not, but I mean, they could all agree on that.
Okay, let's talk about how body size affects oppression. There are a lot of other factors that affect how fat people experience oppression, but right now we're talking about body size. I will address the other ones in future videos. Fatness exists on a spectrum, and there are people who experience fat oppression who exist across a very wide range of sizes. And the pattern that most people recognize is that as body size increases, so does the frequency and severity of the oppression that person experiences. In social justice spaces, we need to be centering the people who experience the most oppression. And while we don't really have that many people who practice true fat liberation, let's take a look at body positivity. If you know anything about mainstream body positivity, it is that it typically centers thin people or fat people on the smaller side of the fatness spectrum, because it's thought that they represent what's considered an acceptable version of fatness. I'm actually a good example of this, and
I think in the past, mainstream body positivity was all about skinnier and thinner bodies, but I don't think that's the case anymore. I think now the face and the frontline body positivity now is a loads of fat liberation activists saying their piece. So I don't know where she's getting this idea, because if you check body positivity on TikTok now, all you do see is all these fat liberation activists. You don't see any skinny people there anymore. You would have seen them in like 2020, I guess, but I don't see them anymore. So yeah. Okay guys, so we reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what your favorite part of the video was, and subscribe to the channel if you want to. Okay, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.